Sorry, forgot. Go ahead. You don't have to do your intro again. Just keep,
No, just say
just say your results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. I lost 10 pounds. So, and I have not had a biscuit in 2.5 weeks. So that's the big thing. I haven't had any bread, which is insane because I love a good sandwich. And I'm going to tell you, it's coming. Eventually, oh yeah, it's coming.
We'll get you some of Monica's bread.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So, but the bottom line is, all right, let's pay attention. The bottom line is like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. What can I do to contribute? So the bottom line is, obviously, you're here, I mean, to make money, right? Yeah,
I want
to be healthy, but make money, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is this. I know they teach you, and correct me if I'm wrong, the social media game. They teach you to post at this time and do this or whatever. And it is a big deal, and their algorithms, I mean, it took me a while to try to crack TikTok, and I kind of did. Facebook is Facebook. Instagram, I can't stand Instagram. But anyway, you have to live in that environment because that's the world we're in. Personally, I like YouTube. But you got to do that. However, if that's what you're hanging your hat on, then quit. Because you're not going to build a business. You're just not. Strictly off social media, you're not going to build a business. So here's the deal. You got to look at it like this. Everybody's a salesperson, right? Your doctor that you go to, they're a salesperson. If they suck and they kill somebody, they're done. If they give terrible service or they're more expensive than everybody else, no one's going to go to them. So if their product is not worth you purchasing and you don't see results, they're not going to go to you. Okay. So me, I'm a mortgage banker. I'm a salesperson, right? You look at Lakeland Drive, and if you go from the Flowwood city line down here, I bet you count 20 banks, right? So someone has to have a reason to use me. Now, I can't just slap my name on a Trustmark billboard and sit here and make a post about interest rates and expect my phone to ring. If that happens, my kids ain't eating and we're out of the house, right? Now, to tell you a little bit about me, I like to joke and kid, but when it comes to business, I get down to business and we just, we move on because time is money, right? And this is what discourages people. I hate it when they call things multi-level marketing. It aggravates me because every business is really multi-level marketing, if you think about it. Okay. The problem is well, not the problem. It's every business, right? So let's say I go and I start has everyone heard of Northwestern Mutual? Anybody heard? Right? Investment firm. Okay. So let's just say I've done this before, I can do it again. Let's say I go take my Series 6 and 63 and my 26 and my 7. These are all these investment licenses that you have to hold to open a brokerage. So let's say I do that and I go open a Northwestern Mutual brokerage, right? Well, what I did, I just bought myself a job. I paid them for their franchise and now I got to work. I bought myself a job. Well, who wants to do that?
Not me.
You don't want to do that. So what you want to do, you want to say, all right, let me go hire 10 people, right, to do all the selling, and I trained those 10 people. So what I did, I just duplicated myself in 10 people, right? Well, if it was that easy, everybody would do it. You can't just go find 10 people and, I got a great business, I'm flourishing, and everything's fine. No. You got to weed through all that. So the question you need to ask yourself is, okay, I'm here because obviously I believe in this stuff and it works. And I can assure you, I like candy and bread more than anybody. And if I am willing to hit the pause button and try this thing out, I have not exercised at all in 2.5 weeks, and I've lost 10 pounds. Okay, well, that's something to sell. Because I can tell you right now, I love my bread. I love my biscuits. I like my bacon. I love some swine. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so what I'm getting at is okay, the science of what you do is no different than what anybody else does. And Trisha keeps looking at the TV. So,
Oh, yeah.
what y'all do is no different than what the CEO of a bank has done, or what I just mentioned to you.
Mhm.
Business is business. Do you want to go chase customers? Do you want to keep calling people? Do you want to keep chasing this box sale? Or do you want to duplicate what you know in 15 other people?
Mhm.
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, well, so the question is how do you do it? And let me tell you, what I'm going to tell you how to do, I've done it. Okay, this is how I put food on the table and supported my family for 20 plus years. And I've had to do this a few times, and I've had to do it again, and sometimes I've had to do it again, but it works. What amazes me is that I have taught this class, I know, over 100 times. And out of every time I've taught this class, let's say there's a class of, 100 people that I'm talking to. Well, only about 10 of them are going to do it. It blows my mind because it's easy. You just have to take the step. A lot of folks say, well, it's hard getting started. Well, what I'm about to tell you, you just have to take a step. Once you have that first step, well, then it's like a rubber band that gets released. And I want to say one thing too, to you 7 people, my wife included, and I've said this 100 times. This method that I'm about to show you is how I met her.
Oh,
It is truly.
I
Okay.
know.
Yeah. As much as she don't want to admit it, I sold her and met her. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm some Billy bad, but it works. It works. You just have to follow the system. You have to understand the numbers. Okay. You have to manage your time. That is key. If you don't manage your time, you're going to go bankrupt. You're going to lose. You're going to be done. You're going to get discouraged, and we'll never see you again.
Mhm.
You have got to manage your time. I'm old school. A lot of folks use their phones, Outlook, calendar, whatever. But you know what? I still go to Office Depot every year and I buy like a notebook like you had going to school, spiral notebook. And I write my stuff down. So whatever works for you, you do you, but you have to maintain your time. Okay? So what I did, imagine me. Okay. I mean, while I don't know, 2021, fresh out of the birth canal, I'm like, all right, I'm going all in, straight commission, student loans, rent, debt, bad credit, and I'm starting my career.
2001. You said 2021.
Whatever. No, when I was 21,
Oh, okay.
21 years old. Okay.
Wow.
And so here's the first thing I did, and this is what I was taught. I took 2 to 3 days and I wrote down, and it took me this long, everybody that I have ever come in contact with. And it took me that long because I had to think, okay, well, who does my mother know? Now, my mother, if any of you know, she worked with the Highway Patrol for 38 years. She knows a lot of people. Still to this day, I walk in places and folks say, are you Belinda Sykes' son? I have no clue who they are. Okay. Everyone, people that have cut my hair, have any kind of influence with me. I've been playing music for several years. Folks that I met doing that. I mean, I wrote down everybody I knew, their phone numbers and their addresses. It took me about 2 or 3 days. And then after that, I started calling. Now, who hates, I can't stand someone calling me, right? Especially a family member
Especially broken.
pulling a broke family member, pulling on them heartstrings. You know what I mean? Please buy my vacuum cleaner. Or, and you know what? If any of you ever done that, I'm sorry. But I just used it as an example. Right? My parents used to sell Melaleuca and Avon. Yeah, how many Avon people we got here? I know it. Come on. I was gonna say.
I used to buy it, yeah.
Anyway,
Tupperware.
people hate doing that. Okay. But if you ask for someone's help, they may help you. They're more apt to help you, or let me say this, pass you on to somebody else than buy from you initially. So I'm gonna give you this. And this is what I would take
I emailed this to the two of you.
everybody that I
Thank you.
ever call. All right? And so what I would do, my first week, I set 20 appointments. 5 days in a work week, 4 appointments each day. All right, so I'm gonna write that down. So 1 week, okay, 20 appointments. Now, this isn't picking up the phone and chit chatting. I actually went and saw these people face to face. This is where our society has declined. In my business, the lending business, we used to do what we call kitchen tables. I used to sit at folks' kitchen table and talk about their finances at 8 o'clock at night. Now, you're not doing that, but y'all supposed to laugh. Okay. You have a curfew. Anyway, I hear you. All right, so, but I'm saying face to face interaction, right? Because you see my body language, you see my intensity, you hear the sound of my voice, you see my face, you see that I'm confident and all the things, right? Exactly, it's personal. And so anyway, in 1 week, 20 appointments, so that's 4 a day. All right? Now, that's 4 families a day. And I would walk in. How I would set the appointment is this. Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
how you doing?
I'm good.
Y'all been busy? Grandkids?
Oh, yeah.
Probably got a house full now, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Livy's doing good, kids are doing good. We're living life. You know what? I'm gonna say this, Miss Johnson. Every time I see you, you always have a smile on your face. And I don't think I've ever met anybody that did not like you. Did you know that?
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm serious. I've never met anyone that has ever said an ill thing about you, Miss Johnson.
Real that.
So I'm doing something different with my life. And I know you know a lot of great people because you're a great person. And I just want to share with you what I'm doing. So if you know anybody that might need to see what I do, you can share their information with me. I just want to tell you what I'm doing so you can talk educated about that, because I know you know some folks that might suffer from sleep apnea. I know you know some folks that might suffer from high cholesterol, high blood pressure, anxiety. I just want to show you what I'm doing. It's real awesome. I'm a living testament. My wife's a living testimony. I just want to show you this in case you come across anybody that you might know that we might could help to throw a little few more years on their life. How about that? Won't take 15, 20 minutes. Is that okay? All right. How about if I see you Monday? I'll stop by about 11 o'clock. How's that sound?
Can you make it 10?
Absolutely. We'll make it 10. Okay, great. I'll see you then. Now, you see what I did? Right? I called that person, and then I go to their house. Now, it ain't going to take 10, 15 minutes, I can tell you that. Once you start talking, it's going to be a little more than that, okay? But I ain't seen this woman in, say, 10 years. So I'm going to spend some time with her. I'm not using you, but then again, I am. Let's just be honest. I'm gonna spend some time with her. I'm gonna build some rapport with her, catch up with her, and then I'm gonna talk to her about what I'm doing. All right. So out of these 20 appointments, these 4 a day, that's 20 appointments. Okay. How many of those 20 appointments do you think are gonna want what you sell?
Mm.
Think about it. Out of those 20, think about what you do. How many of those folks will at least try it? People on the Zoom.
Probably 50%.
50% might try it, huh?
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
I'm
saying about the 3.
That's too conservative.
Well, at the most 3.
Say like 7.
That's conservative. I think all right, we're getting in the ditch here. Out of those 20, I think 30%, that's 6. I think 30% will actually try it. But here's what's most important. That sheet that I sent you, or Olivia sent you that I gave you, there's 15 spots on here. Okay? 15 spots to put a name, an address, a phone number, an email address, and a relationship. What does this person mean to you? I remember it like the back of my head. Tommy Creel filled one out, and my sheet had 10 when I gave it to him, and he put Ed and Trish McNulty on there as one of the 10, and he put on there a very extremely close family friend. And so when I called Trish or Ed, they had no clue who Jason Sykes was. But when I said Tommy Creel, that cold call turned into a warm call. I can stand in front of you right now and tell you that over a 25-year career, I have never made one cold call in my entire life. I refuse to do it. I've never done it. I won't do it because I don't have to do it. Cold calls suck. Your results are not going to be good. You're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit, period. That's a fact. If anybody wants to challenge me on that, I'll debate you. You will lose. Cold calling, you'll be done. Who likes to cold call? Nobody.
Nobody.
So what I did was, Miss Johnson, I'm going to hand this to her. You already have one. You don't have to take mine. The chances of these 20 people giving me, there's 15 slots, giving me at least 5. Let's be ultra conservative. 5. All right. These are 20 people that either cut your hair, all right, preached at your grandma's funeral, okay, sold you your shoes, cleaned your teeth, whatever the case may be. Out of these 20 people, I bet you every one of them gives you at least 5. That's average. Some's going to give you 3, some's going to give you 15. So guess what? Your 20 appointments in 1 week, all right, what's 5 times 20?
100.
That's 100. 100 warm referrals. Your 20 visits just
Multiplied.
extremely multiplied. 100. Okay. You sold them 6. You gained 6 customers, right? 6 clients. And out of that 6, how many you think is going to join your team? I bet you at least 1.
I would say probably half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being conservative because I want to show you how this compounds. All right. Now you got 1 teammate. That's in 1 week, 20 appointments turned into 100 warm referrals, 6 clients, and 1 teammate. So here's what you do. You take those 100 referrals, you share them with that 1 teammate, because teammates like to get fed, right?
Mhm.
And if you feed them, it's just like a dog. Who's the first one they run to? The one that gives them the bone, right? You share half those referrals with that teammate. So now you've gone and saw 100. So let's do the math, guys. Out of those 100 referrals, now you're not going to meet with all of them. Let's say you meet with 50. All right. Out of those 50, let's say we stick with the average. Now this is week 2. Let's say 2 and 3. It's going to take you a minute. Because you're going to meet with 50. Now, if you split it up, you might get it done in a week if you're aggressive.
Mhm.
50 times what? 5. What's that?
250.
Your 101 referrals got cut in half, but then it went to 250. All right? 250 referrals. Out of those 50 folks, how many you think bought from you? Well, if you use the same math, right? What's 30% of 50? That's
15.
15. So now you just sold 15 products, right? How many teammates you gain out of that? So if you do the same math, 6 and 1, I don't know, you probably got about 3 or 4, right? When you say, let's say 4. Conservatively, 4. 4 teammates to your 1. Now you got a team of 5, and you guys are hammering down 250 leads. And then you just taught them the same practice that you're doing. So now you got 5 people doing the same thing you're doing. That's in 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I know you're sitting there asking, you saying to yourself, this guy's crazy.
I already knew it.
I've made a lot of bad decisions in my day, but I will tell you this. This works because I know why. Let me tell you, I know firsthand because I made the money and I spent it. It works. Okay? If I had every nickel, oh gosh. Yeah. But anyway, this works. And this can work for you, and you too on the phone. It's just that simple. But you have to be consistent. But what you just did was you just in 3 weeks, let's just say 3 weeks, let's be conservative. In 3 weeks, working 5 days each week, you just went from a sole proprietor to a manager. Where else you gonna do that?
Nowhere.
You just duplicated yourself 6 times. And all you're doing is you started out with your center of influence and asked them, can you help me with who you think needs to see what I do? And I can tell you, I think you're going to do better with these numbers. Because, I mean, everybody look, I take that, what's that stuff I take, that focused medicine?
Rejuvenix.
Whatever. Yeah, I take that stuff twice a day. If I didn't take that, I'd be in the ditch. Especially with how I got to crunch numbers every day. So that alone helps me. You know what I mean? But I can tell my blood pressure's down. I can tell all that stuff. And look, not everybody's going to want to do it. You're going to have these hard-headed folks like me that says, I ain't giving up my natural life. I ain't giving up my Cokes. I ain't giving up
My cheese.
yeah. Oh God,
That's been the biggest.
No, it ain't been well.
Probably it was my easiest.
That
It
was
shocked
mine.
me. I really didn't think.
I don't want to give up
Yeah.
my Jolly Ranchers. I don't want to give up my Dr. Peppers, by God. However, you're going to run into some folks that's about to have a stroke, right? and they've never had anyone sit down with them and actually talk with them and care about them because, excuse me, but a lot of doctors are not personable like that.
Mm-mm.
And unfortunately, because of malpractice garbage and all these lawsuits, they can't be. I've learned that. They can, but it's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually sit down with somebody and act like you give a crap, which you do. All of you do. I know every one of them. You care. Well, I may not know one of you, but hey, I'm sure y'all care too. But if they see that, they're going to believe you, right? They're going to trust you. And I'd be willing to bet. I'll tell you, if y'all would do this right here and not just indulge me for this 30 minutes, but actually try this. And I ain't kidding. I'm willing to bet you $500 it works and you beat Facebook. That's a real deal, guys. You show me my plan got beat by social media, I'll write you a check. How about
It's
that?
working.
I can too.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
All you're doing is what you do every day. You're talking. But this time around, you need to really think about who you actually know that had good people that has actually made an influence and an impact in your life. You got to really think about this. Don't think about that. Don't get brain fog thinking about folks that you run, because a lot of people say, I'm rambling. A lot of people say, well, I only know about 7, 8 people. No. Let's go back and look at this sheet. All right. How many parents y'all know? Oh, I know you know a lot.
Oh, parents besides our.
Parents, yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. How many lawyers you know? I hate to say. How many drivers do you know? You know how many cars pass this building? When I leased my first spot in this building, I actually did it. I looked into those statistics every day, and it's probably gone up. In 2019, 120,000 one way. Okay. How many hairstylists do you know? How many carpenters do you know? Contractors, soldiers. How many people in the military? Military. Don't forget about your military folks, especially ones that come home from deployment. They need something to keep their minds right. You really need to focus on military people. What Partner Co. offers can really help military people. You need to go to your adjuncts. You need to go to your local post, the National Guard post, and find out when the Golden Ribbon Day is and see if you can get a booth. Those of you that don't know what that is, every time a unit is deployed, when they come home, they have a Golden Ribbon Day where they come in here and there's vendors that tell them about their military benefits. The local USAA rep, what is it? Yeah. Maybe federal, whoever. I used to get the stink eye from all of them. All you gotta do is ask. What's the old saying? Mama said, you don't know if you don't ask.
Mm-hmm.
But military people, who else? Doctors, your neighbor. Nurses, grandparents, managers, secretaries, teachers. How many teachers you know stressed out?
A lot.
Bunch.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Hang on a minute. Think about this. Really think about it. How many teachers you know that's stressed out because they broke in their job?
I know two personally.
There you go. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Out of those two that you know, how's their health? Obviously, if they're stressed out,
Yeah,
their heart rate's high.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's one thing. You think they got anxiety?
Yeah, they do. So,
Teachers. Okay. Rankin County School District, twice a year, they get new teachers in. And at the beginning of the school year, they do a workshop at the Rankin County District Office. If you was to call them up and say, hey, I want to sponsor your new teacher orientation, I'll bring some goodies. And I just want to say a couple of words of thank you and whatever. I've done that before. I've gotten a bunch of mortgage loans out of that, but I'm just saying, okay, everyone needs to focus. Everyone needs to be, but you got to think about that. But teachers, big thing, okay? Because, hey, they're off in the summertime. They got the best holiday schedule, but they're under the most stress and they broke because they don't pay them nothing.
Exactly.
So, hey, good opportunity for extra income, right? And stress reliever. Duh. You could take over school districts. You see, the opportunity's there. You just have to ask yourself, well, I may not talk to this person every day. I may not have talked to them in 3 years, but they remember me, right? I guarantee you my banker remembers me. It's been robbing me for 30 years. Okay. Hey, dentist. You know, mechanic. How stressed out's a mechanic?
No doubt.
Okay. So it's really that easy, but you have to stick to this, and and what you got to do is you got to keep up with it, and you need to do, and I can help you. I will help you. You got to keep up with it so you can keep up with what we call this pull through ratios. That's what we call it. How many do I have to do this to achieve this? That's what you got to think. You got to go from this is a hobby to this is my career, right? You got to go from if I make a few extra $100 this month, that's cool, to I need to make enough to pay my house payment. Okay, you got to set goals, and I mean you got to say, hey, I mean you got to dangle your own carrot, but you got to understand what you're doing so you can keep up with it. Because if you don't, you'll get lost. So keep up with your pull through numbers, right? And then duplicate this to your team. That's the key. Your drop talks. I know they're important, but you might want to skip a few and have your team meetings and do your team building. I'll tell you something else I used to do on Monday nights at six or seven. I can't remember what it was. We used to do career night. And all these people that we would talk to, these 4 here, this one here, we would invite them to a career night and we would do an overview. And then we would train and go over exactly what I just went over with you. Right? That's team time. That's money time, because what you're doing, you're laying the foundation to duplicate yourself with a room full of people. Because what just happened is, if you do this for a solid month, you just went from a sole proprietor to you're not doing the selling anymore. They are. You're the coach. You just went from player to coach in a month. Where else can you go and do that? That's what you don't want to strive to be, whatever these designations are. Who cares? You want to be a coach. You want to be a coach. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to make player money or do I want to make coach money? Do I want to have player hours or do I want to have coach hours? These calls that I see Olivia on during the day, you think those guys are grinding it out, calling customers and setting appointments? Nope. They sitting on the beach. They taking their kids to the park. They're doing things that they busted their butt to get to. They paid the price. They're the few that got this, and now they're living. And you're watching them, but it hadn't clicked yet. I wanted to bring y'all in here and show you. This is it. This is what that looks like. And this is how easy it is to get there. Like Nike said, just do it. You know how much money Nike made off of that one little motto? Just do it in the 90s.
A lot. I don't know.
I actually know that figure.
Probably in the billions, if not trillion.
You ready? Just do it in 1 decade. $4.3 trillion
Wow.
in 1 decade.
Wow.
Just do it. Any questions?
So let me just, somebody about to say something?
Nope.
So let me just get this straight. The first 20 people you're gonna do is gonna be from you sitting down deciding what 20 people you're gonna go see. You're gonna go see them with the intention of giving them one of these, or, giving them one of these sheets, sitting down chatting with them for a minute or whatever. And then making an appointment to come back to pick up their piece of paper, giving them a deadline, say, I'm gonna be back next, whatever, to come pick this up.
Or do
And-
you have them, you would have them.
Finish.
Well,
Continue.
and then, cause my thing is, a lot of people just want to give you this piece of paper and be done with it, cause that's the ones that don't wanna have. But they're willing to fill this out, and I'll say, well, look, can you just put it in an envelope and leave it on your porch and I'll come get it? But whatever. And then from that, you take all of your pieces of paper, and that's when you go towards the next week to do the same. No, you're
You
going,
make appointments with all those people.
right, to talk to them about the drops.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
And-
first
and-
of all, no,
I'm just trying to
no.
I'm just trying
I
to,
understand. Let's talk through it.
let's, you gotta get details.
That's right.
We're talking about detail, you need to get detail.
Okay, well, I'm about to. Well, I kind of did,
Well, I
but I'm gonna go a little further. I use this as an example, but this should be a goal. Okay? This should be your goal.
right.
20 appointments a week, 4 a day. Are people still there?
Mhm.
Okay. Does anyone out in Zoom land have a question? I'm gonna finish this. Okay, I guess
I
not.
think so.
This is your goal. All right? If you do more, good for you. But this is your goal. This is 4 a day. And you don't sit down with them. No. You take as long as, honestly, I do hour blocks on appointments. Now, if you're there 30 minutes, good for you. But I do hour blocks. Okay? But no matter how long you're there, all right? And listen, tailor this. Don't hear me say hour and that's what, no. You follow the conversation with the person. But you spend 75% of that visit building rapport, building like and trust again. Then the last 25% of that time, that's when you talk about product. Because here's the deal. Look, if you sit there and try to shove product down someone's throat for a half hour, you ain't getting nothing.
Mm-mm.
I'm just being honest with you.
Mhm.
After about 10, 15 minutes, I'm ready for you to go, bounce. You know what I mean? And then your next mistake is this. If you walk out that door without this sheet of paper, you're never gonna get it.
Oh, so we get it. That day we're there.
You
Do
get
you
it
not
right
remember
then.
giving that and giving it to him? It was
That
too
was
long ago.
20-something years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Nowadays, people are very reluctant to give out the other people's phone number. I need to ask them before I give out.
Sometimes, but that's why you gotta do the number. That's why I said out of these 20 out of this, you know what I mean? You're not gonna get averages. You gotta look at averages. Don't get discouraged by what one person may or may not do. It's a numbers thing. If you have 20 apps, you're gonna merit at least 100 referrals out of those 20 apps. You see where I'm going with that? when you sit down with somebody and they say, you know what, so-and-so may want to talk to you. All right, great. And let's say if they say something about the whatever, send them an email.
Email,
You know what I mean?
yeah, email.
But try to get that phone number. Try to get that phone number. Try to get whatever you can get on that person. But let me say this. I'm glad you brought that up, okay? But listen to me. If you have a rapport with this person and then you spend that time visiting with them, okay, picking up from where y'all left off, ever how long it's been, and then explaining what you do and life changes, and use examples, use real life examples. People love to see, they don't want made up stuff. They want you to drop somebody's name. They want real life examples.
Of people that have lost weight or
Yeah.
whatever.
What I would do if it was me, I'd break out my iPad or my cell phone and I'd say, look at this person. Look at this person. Look at this person. Hey, my boss's my coach's husband. Look, this guy, he's the most ornery pain in the butt that lives in Mississippi, and he lost 10 pounds in 2.5 weeks.
I
Hey.
show people my former pictures
Yeah.
and they,
Look, you
I
can
mean,
call me every name in the book. I could care less. Do whatever you got to do to build your business.
Visual.
But I'm just saying, people like to see. All right. And if you do that, they're going to say, you need to call so-and-so, or I'm going to give you their number. And you tell them I called. I promise you, if you're sitting with them, meet at a coffee shop, drop by their work. It doesn't have to be formal. Hey, say, hey, are you going to be at church Wednesday night? Let me pull you aside for a few minutes. I just want to show you something so you can talk educated about what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
But personally, when people ask me, give them names like this, I didn't like it. I
You
don't
may
know.
not, but somebody,
Yeah,
but most
I
folks will.
just, you know, I don't know if I could do that. I need to ask them first,
Not everybody's gonna do that, I promise you.
really.
Oh, yeah. If they trust you, I'm telling you, if they trust you and they like you, they gonna give you a phone number.
I would think if they see proof also.
well, you gotta have.
Well, you remember though, Kim, these are people that you know
Yeah.
and you have already established relationships with. So think of it if it was, I don't know.
Say, I
Just-
wanna go see my sister-in-law, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then I.
So you
I
have
asked-
rapport with her. Listen, this is what I'm doing now in addition to real estate. And I'm trying to get my business off the ground and but I've got to get some new contacts, new people to talk to. I've got to get outside of my own sphere.
Yeah,
So who do you know that you
Well, don't need
think,
to say stuff like that.
well, but you get the gist of what
How
I'm
would you
saying.
say it, Jason?
Did you not just hear what my conversation with her?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You gotta be, look, let me tell you, use this. This is how you talk to somebody. You entice and you withdraw. You entice and you withdraw. Because what that is, that makes somebody feel non-threatened. They don't feel like, I gotta do this. You entice and you withdraw. That's why you build that rapport the first 3/4 of that meeting. Okay? You gotta convince this person that, hey, this person's not here to rob me. This person actually believes what they're doing. We're visiting, we're catching up, we're laughing, we're talking about a classmate that, did something stupid, whatever. Okay? Make it real. Because it is real. It ain't gotta be fake. Look, man, every person I ever sat down with, I was sincere. But guess what? Let me show you this right here. And I use this, as an example.
yeah.
I got 10 names, 10 phone numbers, 10 addresses from that lady right there. And I can tell you something. That bird is tough to convince. So, and I love you, Tricia, but I'm being serious.
I know.
She can be a royal pain in the butt,
I
but
know.
I convinced her. Now, I'm not saying again, I'm some macho man. I'm just saying anybody with a heart, okay, that's passionate about what they're doing and can talk, can do this.
Okay.
Don't let, okay, yeah, all right. Who remembers that movie, Oh God, where,
Oh, brother, we're out.
no, remember that guy, the old fella that always smoked cigars, I got his head. Anyway, he did an 80s movie and there was an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And that devil just kept saying negative stuff and the angel kept trying to convince, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was the devil. George Burns.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm old.
Hush.
Anyway,
I'm not
you
going.
know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, listen, don't let that devil sit back in your ear and say, I can't do this. I can't get that. I'm telling you, you gotta at least try what I'm telling you to do. That's all you gotta do.
Okay, so these people, pops in my head that I can go talk to them.
Yeah.
Right? But all these ladies are overweight, okay?
Right.
So if I go over there and start talking about, what I'm doing.
Well, first you just talk about everyday stuff.
But
How
it's
so and so?
obvious they know that I'm there to sell the product.
No, you're not there to sell him
But
anything.
insinuating that they need to lose.
That's the part that everybody's missing, honey, is how do we say, I'm not trying to sell to you, but I'm trying to get contacts from you? That's the
Y'all-
verbiage.
May I redo
Yep.
this?
But she needs help.
Just that one part.
Okay,
Yeah,
hang on.
but I don't wanna come there and,
Listen to what I'm finna say.
would you take that, please?
It's getting taped.
We're doing
this
again, okay.
I want
They
you-
say I'm big. Yeah,
Fine.
okay,
I don't care if you're 800 pounds.
yeah.
All right?
I knew somebody that size. Just see him all cuddly. He's smaller now, but
You talking about Mr. Bill?
no, his brother.
His brother, yes.
Okay.
But the ladies are so sensitive.
I hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
more
all
so.
right, we're getting in the ditch.
Okay.
Miss Kelly, I know you know a lot of great people, okay? I've started something new. I'm excited about it. I know you know a lot of good people. I want to tell you what I'm doing, okay? Because I know you know some folks that need to see what I'm doing, right? And then if you come across somebody or someone may pop in your head, hey, you know what? That person might need to talk to Jason, right? You can talk educated about that and, help me grow my business. I just want you to know what I'm doing so you can be a walking billboard for me.
Oh,
Just in
that's
case-
good.
Just in case you know somebody that needs to see what I do, all right? So I just took that approach. I'm not selling her a thing. I don't want to sell her nothing. I want her to believe in me, believe in what I'm doing, and she's gonna automatically think just like you just did. So and so, so and so, so and so, and she's gonna write those names down. Then she's gonna say, you know what? Tell me more about this. I may need to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. Those first 20 appointments, if I don't sell nothing, that's fine. I'm not there to sell something because chances are you got a better chance of selling to these people you never met using their name than you do these 20 people that you've known for 30 years.
I need
That's
to
a fact.
change my mindset.
That's exactly
Change
right.
my expectation.
That's exactly right. Don't go there trying to sell to them. You need their help.
I need your help.
I need your help. I want you to know what I'm doing, know I'm passionate. I want you to talk educated about what I'm doing because there's somebody that you might know that needs to see what I do.
Or see the results that I've
I was just
gotten from.
thinking-
Don't get in the weeds. Just say, see what I do. I just need you. I know you know somebody needs to see what I do.
I need to practice that.
The least you talk,
That's right.
the more you talk, you shoot yourself in the
Oh, I
foot.
got the laugh.
The least you talk, You eat, the least you talk, they're gonna trust you. The more you talk, they're like, man, this girl trying to sell me some, man, this girl trying to sell me some
I think
overpriced
it's
business.
it's like if you
That's right.
are proof yourself and somebody that you see, I mean, if I
Yes.
met you,
Cause
it's
that's
like,
how I've sold a
my
lot of
gosh, you
jobs,
know.
because people,
is this what you did? You know, and then it's like, yeah, I mean,
But you got lit, but here's the problem, when I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm hearing these conversations. This is what you gotta break yourself up. I'm listening to you talk, everybody talk. You gotta get out of that transactionary mindset. You're trying to build a team. Okay? You need to take your transactionary mindset of selling drops and throw that out in that dumpster sitting right there.
gotcha.
You need to focus on building a team to duplicate yourself. That's what you need to do. Okay? Lone Ranger don't last forever. Okay? The Bible did not put us on this earth to be alone. I know there's over 100 scriptures that talk about that. If you want references, I can get it for you. I'm just saying, we were not put on this earth to be alone. Okay? You're not going to make it by yourself. That's not a sustainable business model. You're going to burn out. Get that transactionary mindset out of your head. Build a business. Build a team. Build a support group that is your people. And you coach them to do the exact same thing. And while you're doing all of that, you're going to sell a bunch of this. It's inevitable. It's all about that mindset. I'm not selling drops. I'm building a team.
That's it.
Okay? How many of you like physical reminders? How many of you write post-it notes and put, okay, I've got cards on my bathroom mirror I laminate. I tape them up there and I read them to remind me. Here's a quote. You can't stop the waves, but you can always learn how to surf. Okay? So think about it. This bald-headed dude that lives in Utah, that's one of the starting I met. The reason why I remember him because he had these shoes on. Now I got 2 pair of them because I like them.
Well, he doesn't live in Utah. He lives in Alabama.
Well, whatever. That country redneck.
He's talking about Brett Palmer.
Yeah. Anyway, do you think he got to where he is being this guy?
Yes. Oh, not the Lone Ranger. I mean, he did the system.
I was going to say.
Promise you he did. Sorry. I was just looking
Yeah.
at the whole piece of paper.
There's one. No.
No, yeah, not
Yeah.
the Lone Ranger.
He says he said he started out trying to do that. Didn't he say that one time
Yeah.
in one of the meetings?
It fell flat on.
Kinda, sorta, yeah.
In one of the
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
So, cause I know you've been on the IPAs. I know Mom's listened a few times, but I don't think you two have ever been on an IPA. You can't cause you're at work.
Yeah.
I
No,
haven't told
Mary.
you about it yet, cause you're still kinda new.
I ate some today.
But this is probably the biggest thing that they talk about on the IPA call, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I have sat there and listened to them say things not like this kind of detailed, but basically what he was saying is you have got to think about building this, like duplicating yourself. And I've always like left it going, but how? Like, I don't understand how. And like this past year, I've been trying to do that, but I haven't been very successful at it because I haven't done it this way necessarily. I mean, granted, I have y'all and I have several others, but I have been, it's hard, it's like, I want y'all to learn to do presentations yourself so that everybody's not dependent on me. Well, if I'm always the one who's just charging forward and just doing everything myself, like he said, you get burnt out, you get tired. You're like, I need y'all to like come along with me. You know what I'm saying? And that really is the point here. And he's told me that I'm ashamed to say how many times he's told me this. And I've been like, whatever. But I will say, I've actually had some phone conversations with some people who don't live here, and I've done this exact same thing. And it has worked out exactly like he said. And I am very much where you are. For me, it is, I tell my own self no before I ever even try this. Because I'm telling myself, I'm making up excuses. These people aren't gonna give me names. How am I ever gonna nobody wants to set an appointment, like that's old school. People don't wanna sit down with me at their table and talk to me for an hour. Like, we have to get rid of all of these prejudgments, because those,
Assumptions.
we call those limiting beliefs. They are beliefs that are limiting us.
All right, let's not change the word. It's assumptions.
Yes, it is.
But let me say this real quick. So this is half of it. All right, you can go sit down.
Yes, sir.
This is half of it. All right? She made a valid point. These calls that you're on, these Zooms, I get so frustrated. I'm being transparent with you. Cause I'll walk by and she's glued to this thing. And I'm like, what the heck are you gonna learn glued to that? So when I started out, okay, right? I was trained to do this, but I took it further. My mentor, okay? I would meet him when I would get out of class or off my part-time, my job, and I would go on appointments with him, and I would sit there, I wouldn't say a word. I would just listen. And let me tell you something, I soaked it up like a sponge. And let me tell you something else, this man that was my mentor, and he passed away, and I miss him every day. He was a retired sergeant major in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
And boy, you talk about staying on me like white on rice. I know I frustrated the stew out of him, but he'd never give up on me.
Mm.
But I listened to everything he had to say, and this is what set that man apart from most of the folks in our office in Hattiesburg was he truly believed in what he was doing. And everybody that he sat down with could tell that in 5 minutes.
I need a mentor.
Well, that's what I'm getting
here
to, and this is where we're fixing to cut it off because we're losing focus. I don't know this business. I don't. I know these drops. I know those pills I take. Okay. I mean, I know enough to scratch the surface. Okay. But now who's on this call?
Well, Elaine and Miss Carolyn.
Miss Carolyn's in Texas
Mm-hmm,
and Miss Elaine's here.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Miss
Talking to
Carolyn's
you
down.
two and everybody.
Olivia.
You
Yeah,
set an appointment.
know.
Carolyn's, okay.
You set an appointment, I'll go with you.
Jason,
Yeah.
I was just sitting here thinking, because I work a full-time job right now and got
Who's
other things.
talking?
That's Miss Elaine.
All right, Miss Elaine, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. There's no way possible I could get 4 visits in a day.
Okay.
But even if you just did 2 visits a day, that's more than what we're doing now.
That's right.
Right.
So you can't look at if the 4 visits a day is overwhelming you, do it half. It's
Do
gonna
half.
it's gonna take you a little longer than doing it against somebody that was doing 4 visits a day, but doing 2 visits a day is better than doing what we're doing now. And like Olivia said a while ago, or you said, we can sell the drops. The drops selling themselves. It's building the team that's what's important.
Yeah.
Building the team is what's got Palmer and Haley Lee and the other lady drawing those big checks because they have a team under them. They're not worried about selling drops. They have teams that are selling the drops for them. That's where they're making their money.
So here's the deal.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Now, I like what I do, but my time is coming to an end. Eventually. I want to retire from loaning money. So you set an appointment, you get with me, I'll go. I will. And I won't know, all I need to know out of you is who referred them or how do you know them. Just give me a few tidbits about this person. And you tell me we set it up. And if I'm free and I can break away and I will make time, I will go. And I will sit down and you watch me interact with this person. You watch me, you listen to the questions that I ask. You look at your watch. Okay? That's how you're going to learn. We can sit here and talk. Now, I mean, you know more than you did. And I feel confident you can go and do this. But I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't rode with Steve Campbell all those times, I'd have never made it. I wouldn't be standing here talking to you, and I'd have never met her. Now, she's probably thinking, God, I wish that had happened. But, I'm just saying. I'm just saying life would have been different. There's no telling where Jason would be. If I had not have gone with him and saw firsthand how he interacted with people. Because believe it or not, right? Talking to folks I didn't know about stuff I didn't know nothing about was not in my list of accolades back then. Okay? This is not something that you're born to do. You're trained to do this. All right? And I got training. And I'm willing to show you. I'm not joking. If you call me tomorrow and you say, Jason, can you free up Sunday at 2:00? Can you free up Monday at 5:30, 6:00? Yes, I will. You tell me where to go and I'll go and I will go on that appointment with you. And you just sit back and watch. I will invest my time so that you can achieve or get to whatever goal. Again, this is not concrete. This was Jason. Okay? This is just giving you an example. I did this just to break down, just to show you statistics. So you can understand, hey, I got to get 100 referrals to talk to 50. When I talk to those 50, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to make this amount of money. If I talk to this 50, I'm going to build this amount of team. You got to look at that's how you set your goals.
Mhm.
Okay? Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going home. I live by a reward and punish mentality. I always had. Let me explain to you what that is. So, by Friday morning, I have my appointments set for the following week. Okay? I've got my next week booked. I mean, booked enough that if half of them were to cancel, I can still put food on the table. Okay? If I get my appointments done by Friday at lunch, I take off. If times are good, I take off. If I don't, I'm working Saturday. That's that reward and punish mentality. If you meet your goals, reward yourself. If you don't meet your goals, you got to push. But you got to pay a price for a short period of time. You got to be willing to pay a price for a short period of time. Nothing's free. Nothing's easy.
Okay, so making the, say, 4 appointments a day, right?